Hello students, welcome to the final 15th week of the course. So we will not be having full lectures this week as we wanted to give you the maximum amount of time possible to finish up those final projects and to get work done in what we know is an always chaotic end of semester. But I didn't want to end class without a goodbye and a sign-off. It's hard to believe that 15 weeks have passed since we started this journey together during this pretty difficult and unusual semester. I wanted to tell you all that Professor Edwards and I have had a wonderful time putting this course together. We entered this semester knowing that even the most energetic online course that we could put together was going to be just a substitute for what it would have been like to be able to be together in person, to have the collective effervescence of the classroom, the exchange of questions, ideas, and the buzz of learning together. And while we know that this online experience has been hard in many ways, we wanted to say that we have just been so impressed by you all this semester. You've been engaged, cheerful, thoughtful, curious, and you have shown a dedication to learning throughout what has to be one of the most turbulent and difficult years of our lifetime. We are deeply impressed with you all, and we want to thank you for continually showing up. Of course, none of this would have been possible without our heroic teaching team. Jenny, Michelle, Shani, Neil, Nick, and Gabriel. They've worked incredibly hard, sometimes across different time zones, and often in challenging circumstances, to make this course work for you all. If we were all in person, I'd ask that we give them a standing ovation. But in the absence of that, they will have to settle for our Zoom-mediated gratitude. So thank you all. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Jenny, who has been the magician who put the second set of YouTube videos together. All the weird camera focusing issues were entirely my fault, and you have her to thank for the seamless integration of videos, slides, and contents. So thank you, Jenny. Okay, but before I let you go, I wanted to close with a few thoughts on what we've done here together, because we have covered a lot. Neighborhoods, families, gender, race, politics, media, movements, the economy, power, organizations. Introductory courses, regardless of the discipline, are always these just unwieldy beasts. But the challenge of holding together such variety is magnified in Introduction to Sociology classes. So why is that the case? Well, this is because, as you have probably figured out by now, sociology has no unified object of study. Unlike political scientists, we're not devoted to the field of politics or government. Unlike economists, we don't limit ourselves to the study of the economy. We don't have a single field upon which our discipline converges and declares this is sociology. So instead, what does hold our discipline together? The reason that Introduction to Sociology classes so often begin with the sociological imagination is that we are united not by a single object of analysis, but rather by an approach to understanding society. And that approach is always to take the single individual and see them not as this atomistic actor completely in charge of their own fate, but rather to place them in the context of social relations. We see individuals instead as products of interactions. That who I am and who you are has been shaped and will continue to be shaped by our relationships with others, by our parents, by our siblings, by our friends, our colleagues, by the way that strangers on the street treat us, by the way we treat those that we don't know. It's not just that we don't exist in isolation, but that who we are and our actions can't truly be understood or explained without understanding these social relations from which they emerge. And more, that these social relations end up being crystallized into these social structures that we've talked about all semester long. Our government, our cities, our universities, these structures all affect how we act, how we see ourselves, and how we treat others. And one of the most important things that we have wanted you to get from this class is that these institutions, government, the economy, corporations, universities, cities, these are things that we collectively make together. There's no hardwired rules written anywhere about how these things have to run or how they have to be. These are collective social products. When people say that something is quote unquote socially constructed, the deeper meaning behind this is precisely what we've talked about all semester long, that things could have been otherwise. The market functions a certain way because we make choices about how we think one should act in the market. We make choices to use money, to tax, to redistribute, or to not redistribute. Thinking like a sociologist means looking around us and recognizing that so much of external society that sometimes feels like it's acting upon us from the outside is still a collective human product. It's something that we built and therefore that we can change. At the beginning of lecture, we read the sociological imagination together. And Mills wrote, "The sociological imagination enables us to grasp history and biography and the relations between the two within society." I hope at the end of this class that you have come to this sentence with a new sense of its meaning, that sociology helps us to understand how our biographies and experiences, how to understand those through the lens of how history has shaped us. Okay, so fellow sociologists, thank you for going on this journey with us. Professor Edwards and I were honored to play a role in introducing you to this discipline. We can't wait to see your final projects, and we wish you all a happy, healthy, relaxing, and very well-earned winter break.